All right, so we're diving deep into how to prepare for a secondary school history teacher interview. We've got all kinds of resources for you, career guides, interview guides, and even some info on RoleCatcher's AI, all to help you really stand out as a candidate.
Absolutely. It's about showcasing that you're not just passionate about history, but also about actually, shaping young minds, fostering critical thinking through a historical lens.
Right, and the guide we have here really emphasizes adapting to different learning styles and needs.
Yeah.
It calls this differentiation, and it sounds like it's a big deal for interviewers. So let's just jump right into a question they might ask. How would you approach teaching a complex topic like the Civil War to a class with diverse learning styles?
Oh, that's a great starting point. So instead of just saying, oh, I would use different methods, really paint a picture for them. Like imagine having your students analyze letters from Civil War soldiers to understand like the emotional toll of the war, or examining historical photographs to see how fashion and social norms have evolved.
So bringing history to life through real tangible examples, that's a lot more impactful than just saying you'll differentiate.
Exactly. And this is where RoleCatcher can be so useful. Their AI can actually analyze job descriptions, even school websites to see what they prioritize. Like maybe this school emphasizes hands-on learning or project-based activities. RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers to highlight those specific approaches.
That's like having a personalized guide to what each school values most. Okay, let's move on to another common question. How do you incorporate current events into your history lessons? Hmm. It sounds simple, but I bet there's a lot more to it than just like mentioning today's headlines.
You're absolutely right. They want to see you connect the dots to historical context. So think about like recent events related to social justice movements. You could connect them to the civil rights movement, showing students how history repeats itself and how those historical struggles continue to shape our world today.
That's such a powerful example. It not only shows you can incorporate current events,
Yeah.
but it also highlights your ability to facilitate discussions on potentially sensitive topics.
And speaking of sensitive topics, here's a potential follow-up question they might throw your way. How do you ensure those connections are accurate and unbiased, especially when dealing with controversial issues?
Oof, that's a tough one. How do you even begin to approach that?
It's about emphasizing your commitment to presenting a balanced perspective and encouraging critical thinking. You might say something like, I always strive to present multiple perspectives and use a variety of sources, including primary sources, to help students understand the complexities of history. It's about facilitating respectful discussion and creating a safe space for students to explore different viewpoints.
That's a great approach. And it segues perfectly into another common question. How do you create a positive and inclusive learning environment in your classroom?
This one goes beyond just saying, you'll be nice. It's about demonstrating your understanding of inclusivity and how you actively foster it.
So what are some concrete examples you could share?
You could talk about establishing clear classroom expectations for respectful communication, incorporating diverse perspectives into your curriculum, and having open dialogues with students about their experiences. You could even share a specific example of a time when you addressed a situation of bias or discrimination in a previous classroom setting.
That shows you're not just talking about inclusivity, but that you've actively worked to create a safe and welcoming environment for all students. And if you need help structuring your answers or want feedback on your delivery, RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon. You can practice answering these tough questions on video and get AI-powered feedback that's tailored to the specific school you're applying to.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Okay, let's tackle another question that's becoming increasingly relevant. How do you incorporate technology into your history lessons? It's not just about using PowerPoint, right?
Definitely not. They want to see you're tech savvy and understand how to leverage technology to enhance learning. Think beyond the basics. Have you used interactive simulations to bring historical events to life? Or virtual field trips to explore ancient ruins?
Those are great examples. And I imagine using online research databases and primary source archives would also impress them.
Absolutely. The key is to demonstrate how you've used technology not just as a tool, but as a way to engage students, deepen their understanding, and foster those crucial 21st century skills.
And again, RoleCatcher can be a game changer here. If AI can analyze job postings and school websites to pinpoint the specific technologies they prioritize, helping you tailor your answers and highlight your relevant skills.
It's all about showcasing your ability to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of education. Now let's move on to another common question that focuses on assessment. How do you measure student progress and evaluate their understanding of historical concepts?
This one's important because it shows you're not just focused on teaching, but also on ensuring students are actually learning.
Exactly. They're looking for a holistic approach to assessment, not just relying on quizzes and tests.
So what other methods could you highlight?
Think about project-based assessments that allow students to demonstrate their understanding in creative ways. Maybe they create documentaries, design historical websites, or even write and perform historical plays. You can also discuss using presentations, class participation, and informal assessments like exit tickets to gauge understanding, and identify areas where students might need additional support.
That showcases your ability to think beyond traditional methods and assess student learning in a variety of ways.
And here's a potential follow-up. How do you differentiate your instruction to meet the needs of diverse learners, especially when it comes to assessments?
That adds another layer of complexity. How would you address that?
You could talk about providing a variety of assessment options, such as allowing students to choose between written essays, oral presentations, or visual projects. You could also discuss providing differentiated rubrics or modified assessments for students with specific learning needs. The key is to show that you understand the importance of providing all students with equitable opportunities to demonstrate their learning.
That's a great point. It's about ensuring that assessments are not only measuring knowledge, but also accessibility and fairness.
Exactly. And remember, practicing your answers with RoleCatcher can help you refine your delivery and ensure you're hitting all the key points that a specific school is looking for.
All right, let's tackle a question that really gets to the heart of teaching history.
Ah.
How do you encourage critical thinking and analysis in your history lessons?
Mm.
It's about going beyond memorization, right?
Absolutely. It's about teaching students to question, evaluate, and form their own conclusions based on evidence. One powerful way to do this is by using primary sources. Imagine having your students analyze letters from Civil War soldiers to understand the emotional toll of the war, or examining historical photographs to see how fashion and social norms have evolved.
So instead of just telling them what happened, you're letting them uncover history for themselves.
Exactly. You can also facilitate debates or discussions on controversial topics, encouraging students to consider different perspectives and support their arguments with historical evidence.
That not only encourages critical thinking, but also helps them develop those essential communication and collaboration skills.
And speaking of discussions, they might ask, how do you manage a classroom discussion where students have strongly differing opinions, especially when dealing with sensitive or controversial topics?
Oh, that's a question that can really throw you off guard in an interview.
It's all about showing that you can facilitate a respectful and productive dialogue, even when dealing with challenging subjects. You could mention strategies like establishing ground rules for respectful communication, encouraging active listening, and framing the discussion around historical evidence rather than personal opinions.
That's great advice. It shows you're not afraid to tackle tough topics, but that you also prioritize creating a safe and respectful learning environment.
And remember, you can practice navigating these difficult conversations with RoleCatcher's AI. It can provide feedback on your tone, language, and even your body language to help you come across as confident and composed.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already,
Right.
but we have one more crucial question to address before we move on to career insights. How do you involve parents and guardians in the learning process?
This one's all about communication and collaboration. Schools want to see that you value parental involvement and have strategies for keeping them informed and engaged.
So it's about building that bridge between the classroom and the home. What are some concrete ways you can do that?
Think about regular communication channels like newsletters, email updates, or even a class website or blog where you can share student work and classroom updates. You can also talk about parent-teacher conferences, open houses, or even involving parents in classroom activities or field trips.
It's about making them feel like they're part of their child's educational journey.
Exactly. And interviewers love to hear about specific initiatives you've implemented to strengthen parent-teacher communication. Maybe you started a parent volunteer program or organized a historical movie night for families. The more concrete examples you can provide, the better.
That's fantastic advice.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you're not just talking about parental involvement,
Yeah.
but that you've actively sought out ways to create a strong homeschool connection. Now, before we move on to exploring those long-term career goals, let's take a quick look at these.
How about we kind of shift gears a little bit and look at your long-term career aspirations? Landing the job is just the first step, right?
Sure.
So what's really cool here is that the career guide really emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and thinking beyond just this one position.
So it's not just about being a fantastic history teacher now, but also growing and evolving throughout your career.
Exactly. The guide mentions like pursuing advanced degrees, additional certifications, specialized workshops. There's always room to like expand your knowledge and skills.
But it sounds like even in the interview, showing them you're not just stopping at a bachelor's degree could make a big impact. It's about showing that ambition and commitment to being a lifelong learner, right?
Absolutely. You could even like weave this into your answers to those interview questions.
Yeah.
For example, when discussing incorporating technology, you could mention a specific ed tech conference you're eager to attend, or an online course on using virtual reality in the classroom.
So it's about showing them you're already thinking about how you'll continue to grow and stay at the forefront of the field.
Precisely. And speaking of showcasing your capabilities, the guide also talks about going beyond the resume. It mentions portfolios, presentations, and other tangible examples of your work.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. What would a history teacher's portfolio even look like? I'm picturing dusty old textbooks and piles of essays.
Not quite. Imagine like a digital portfolio showcasing lesson plans that incorporate interactive technology, videos of you leading engaging classroom discussions, or even student projects that demonstrate critical thinking and creativity.
So it's about proving you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk.
Exactly. And think about presentations. Have you presented at any conferences? Led professional development workshops for colleagues? These are fantastic additions to your portfolio because they demonstrate leadership and a willingness to share your expertise.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. And here's where RoleCatcher comes in again, right? Their AI can help analyze successful portfolios and presentations to give you insights into what makes them stand out.
You got it. RoleCatcher can be like your secret weapon for crafting a standout portfolio. But remember, it's all about showcasing your unique skills and experiences. The AI is there to guide and refine, not to replace your own creativity and passion.
So RoleCatcher helps you tailor your resume, practice interview answers, and even build an impressive portfolio. It really does sound like a game changer for anyone navigating the job market, not just teachers.
It's about maximizing your potential and giving you that competitive edge. But let's not forget about those long-term career goals. The guide also touches on advancement opportunities within education. It mentions becoming a department head, an assistant principal, even a principal.
That's exciting. So even if you're just starting out as a teacher, it's smart to show them you're thinking about the bigger picture.
Absolutely. You don't have to like map out your entire career path. But expressing interest in leadership opportunities demonstrates ambition and a commitment to making a lasting impact in education.
I love it. It's not just applying for a job, it's investing in a fulfilling career. And RoleCatcher can actually help you identify those skills needed for higher level roles, right?
Exactly. As you gain experience and refine your goals, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze job postings for those leadership positions and highlight areas where you might need to develop additional skills or seek out specific professional development opportunities.
Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. You've aced the interview, landed the job, and you're officially a history teacher. What's next? The guide emphasizes the importance of networking. But how does that apply to a history teacher? Is it just about attending those stuffy academic conferences?
Networking is just as crucial in education as in any other field, but it doesn't have to be stuffy. Think about joining professional organizations for history teachers, connecting with colleagues online through social media or forums, or even attending workshops and conferences that focus on innovative teaching methods or specific historical periods that interest you.
I see. It's about building a community, sharing ideas, staying inspired, and constantly learning from others in the field.
Precisely. And those connections can open doors to amazing opportunities, collaborations, mentorship, even discovering new career paths within education that you hadn't considered before.
It sounds like networking can help you grow as an educator and keep that passion for history burning bright. And speaking of keeping the passion alive, let's circle back to that idea of continuous learning that we touched on earlier. What are some specific ways history teachers can stay up to date and engaged in their field?
Well, the guide mentions, traditional approaches like attending workshops and pursuing advanced degrees, but it also emphasizes the importance of staying curious and finding creative ways to engage with history outside of the classroom.
Okay, let's break that down. What kind of workshops would be most valuable for a history teacher who's looking to stay ahead of the curve?
Oh, there's such a wide range to choose from. You could attend workshops that focus on new pedagogical techniques, like incorporating technology into the classroom, or using project-based learning to foster deeper engagement. There are also workshops that delve into specific historical topics in greater depth, or provide guidance on teaching sensitive and controversial subjects in an inclusive and balanced way.
It sounds like there's always something new to learn, especially as our understanding of history evolves and societal values shift.
Exactly. And let's not forget about those advanced degrees. While a master's in education is a popular choice, there are also master's programs specifically in history, allowing teachers to specialize in a particular era or region.
So you could become an expert in ancient Rome or the American Civil War. That's incredible.
It's all about following your passions and becoming a true scholar in your field.
And this is where RoleCatcher can really come in handy, right? Their AI can analyze job postings and educational trends to help you determine which degrees or certifications are most in demand or align with your long-term career goals.
Absolutely. It's like having a personalized career counselor guiding you every step of the way.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. From acing those tough interview questions to building an impressive portfolio and mapping out your long-term career trajectory. Now, what does all of this mean for you, the listener, as you prepare to step into that interview room and embark on this exciting journey?
It means you're not just prepped for this one interview. You're building a solid foundation for a successful and fulfilling career as a history teacher. A career that extends far beyond just knowing dates and names.
It's about shaping young minds, igniting curiosity, and helping students understand the complexities of the world through a historical lens. And remember, with tools like RoleCatcher at your disposal and these expert insights to guide you, you've got everything you need to make your mark on the world of education. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's explore one final point that I found particularly intriguing in the career guide. The guide mentions connecting history to pop culture. It sounds like a fun and engaging way to teach, but how does it actually work in practice?
Well, it's all about, tapping into things that students already enjoy. Movies, TV shows, even video games. You'd be surprised how often historical events and figures pop up in pop culture.
So instead of just lecturing about World War II, you could have students analyze a scene from a movie like Saving Private Ryan, or compare a historical figure's portrayal in a film to their actual biography.
Exactly. You could even use historical inaccuracies in movies as a springboard for discussion and critical analysis. It's a fantastic way to get students thinking about how history is interpreted and reinterpreted through different mediums.
It makes history feel more relevant and accessible, showing them that it's not just a collection of dusty old facts and figures, but like a living, breathing story that continues to influence our world today.
Precisely. It's about sparking their curiosity and making them see the connections between the past and the present.
And who knows, maybe it'll even inspire them to dig deeper and explore history on their own.
That's the ultimate goal. And it circles back to that passion for lifelong learning that we talked about earlier. It's contagious. When students see that you're genuinely excited about history, it's bound to rub off on them.
That's such a powerful reminder. So as you prepare for that interview, think about those pop culture connections. What are some of your favorite examples? How could you use them to spark a student's interest and bring history to life in the classroom?
I bet you're already brainstorming a ton of ideas. And remember, RoleCatcher can even help you identify which pop culture references might resonate most. With the specific school you're interviewing with, it's all about tailoring your approach and demonstrating that you understand how to engage their unique student population.
So there you have it, our deep dive into preparing for that secondary school history teacher interview. We've explored everything from showcasing your teaching style to incorporating technology, building a standout portfolio, planning your long-term career path, and even finding creative ways to make history come alive through pop culture.
Yeah, it's been a really great journey. Remember, you're not just memorizing facts and dates. You're stepping into a role where you have this incredible opportunity to shape young minds, inspire a love of learning, and empower students to become critical thinkers and engaged citizens.
It's a challenging but incredibly rewarding path. And with the right preparation and a genuine passion for history, you have the power to make a lasting impact.
And as you embark on this journey, don't forget about those valuable resources that we've discussed, the career guides, the interview guides, and of course, RoleCatcher's AI to help you maximize your potential every step of the way.
And here's a final thought for you to ponder. What's your favorite example of history intersecting with pop culture? How would you use that example to spark a student's interest and ignite their passion for exploring the past? Keep those questions in mind as you continue your journey. Remember, history is all around us waiting to be discovered and shared.
Good luck with your interview. And remember, you got this